We're back for Different Kind of Genius once again. Episode 15. We're really getting this stuff done. Today with me, I know I say I've always got a special guest, but something keeps happening and the guests just keep becoming more special and special and special. So here we are again, blessed with another special human being. Today, we've got Nas, aka the Streets Barber. Not Nas as in Illmatic, but Nas in the Streets Barber. From Canada, repping Geelong real well, and a positive role model to so many that are around him.
Blessed. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
So, Nas, how are you anyway, brother?
Good, man.
You good?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm a little bit crook, but fuck, the show must go on. We got to keep toughing through this stuff, and that's just what we got to do.
Word, bro. For sure.
Nah, but thank you so much for coming as well.
Oh,
I know
man,
it was
it's
hard
an absolute honor, bro.
I know it was hard to squeeze us into your busy schedule, so I actually appreciate you taking the time.
Anything for the homies, bro.
Anything for the homies. No, I appreciate that, I really do.
Cool.
But no, like, obviously I know what you do, so start us off. What's a man like Nas get up to?
Well, I mean, like, you introduced me as the Streets Barber, and it's kind of true to the name. I'm a barber for the streets, right? I've been a professional barber, and when I say professional, I mean, like, in and out of a shop for the past 5 years now. And about 4.5 years ago, I started taking some of my services out onto the streets and giving it to homeless men and women around the city of Melbourne. And so it all started off with me saying, with me telling the people, I'm just a barber of the streets.
Yeah.
And eventually people referred to me as the Streets Barber. And yeah, one thing happened and, you know, just continued going, kind of like with you in the podcast. Like, they just keep coming. The flow just keeps rolling. And here I am now, 5 years, 5 years later, straight up, talking to you in Geelong.
Wow.
Destiny and fate, man, the way it just rocks is just crazy.
It's weird, isn't it?
Very, very, bro.
And it's like, oh, there's so much more to unpack for that, but it's like, we'll get there. So actually, I didn't even know that. So you've only had the name The Streets Barber for like the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, bro. Before, I used to be Junior Line.
Junior Line. And how'd you get that?
I love reggae music, man. Like,
True?
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's my day one. I'm pretty sure my parents made love to reggae music, and that's when I was, you know, conceived. It's because of, you know, the beautiful music that comes from, you know, the Caribbean. And
True.
I would say one of my idols has been Bob Marley all my life. But after that, the kids, man, and what they've been able to, you know, do with Bob Marley's legacy, especially Damien, his baby, you know what I mean? Like, he's someone that I always looked up to. I thought he was so cool, man. And I remember watching him live in 2010, and I was like, taken back, bro. I was like idolizing him. His dreads are like, you know, rocking along the floor, and they were tied up a bit too. So like, you could imagine
some long dreads.
Yeah, man, he's a rude boy, big time. So, I mean, the thing is, so check this out. Yeah, so Bob Marley, he's half white. His dad was a British guy named Robert Nestor Marley, and actually maybe Bob's real name is Robert Nestor Marley. I forgot, but anyways, his dad's name is Robert, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so his dad being white, his mom being like, you know, black Jamaican, he came out looking light skinned. And in Jamaica, I think with the Rastafarian movement, it was quite like fanatic and militant, especially towards white folk. You know, like white devil this and you know, pro black that. And I think he was criticized and picked on a lot for being light skinned.
Yeah, bro.
And so after a while, you know, Bob Marley had to basically hold his own. So his nickname became Tough Gong. And in Patois, which is the English spoken in Jamaica, gong is like basically another word for youth.
Okay. And
so when he was a tough gong, he was like the tough youth. So Bob Tough Gong Marley, and they knew him as like that tough kid that you don't mess with, because he made sure people like, you know, didn't disrespect his name. Yeah,
he held his own.
Absolutely. And he was actually one of the main reasons. He was one of the main reasons why like the Rastafarian movement and reggae music became so like open towards everyone, with songs like One Love, One Heart. Let's get... I was gonna stop, but I just want to keep singing, man. I'm telling you. Anyways, his son Damien, he came out with the nickname Junior Gang. So he's the junior youth. So me name Junior Gang, me telling you. Me youngest veteran, me telling you. And so my dad's name is Young Lion, funny enough. And
Your
like,
dad's?
Yeah, translated into English. From Farsi, it's Javan Shir.
True.
And so I took the nickname Junior Lion, So that connection from that. And so I was always referred to as Junior Line, man. Even like my like brand name and like everything, my image was just this line with dreadlocks because I used to have dreadlocks back in the day.
No shit. Oh, you
Yeah,
gotta
man.
send me that photo because I want to see that
Yo,
as
bro, I
well.
was Future before Future became Future, man. Hopefully, like, I don't know if you can edit like this photo that I want to
Yeah,
send you,
no,
but
do
right
it.
now I want people to see straight up, bro. Like the micro dreads, it was gangster, bro. Like I loved them. I only got rid of them because of a bet. My best mate tested my loyalty. And
True.
I'm a very loyal man. He goes, if you're loyal, you shave your dreads off. I said, don't do this right now, bro, because I'll do it. And he goes, if you're loyal, you'll do it. And I said, all right. Grab my clippers and boom. And he's like, what?
Ah,
And yeah, so now I got short hair.
that doesn't surprise me at all. You're a man, like, I'll just look over to you while you're in the shop and you'll just be cutting your hair. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, nah, I'm reinventing myself. I want something completely new. And you're like, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's a real story too.
Yeah, big
And
time.
Damian Marley actually does a lot. He's done like a lot for the black community as well. He's done a lot of like prison reform. He's bought a couple of private prisons as well and just like shut them down and turned them into like spaces of other use.
Word, man. And I'm so not for private prisons too, man.
Oh,
Private prisons has just been a hellhole. Like recently, I've been really trying to kind of take my work from the streets into the prison system. And, you know, that's actually one of the reasons. Actually, let's just go back real quick,
Yeah.
right? So check this. So for the past like 5 years, you know, I've been in a shop and then I was giving haircuts to people on the streets. And I've been blessed, man. Like I've been able to go different parts around the world, like to Russia. Russia was dope, man. Like
true.
I got taken twice on a tour. People just wanted to like have me cut at their shop and just do promo, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts, man. Having like a translator walk by, people waiting like 2.5 hours to meet me. It was the most surreal experience ever. Like I words can't fathom and explain it and allow people to really understand what I'm trying to say, you know? I gave an autograph, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like having to give an autograph for cutting hair for people on the streets is so surreal that people were like, yo, can you sign this for me? And I'm like, what? Like halfway across the world in Russian.
True.
So it was like a very, very weird feeling for me, man. Like I just didn't know how to feel about it. But at the same time, I was like taken back. I'm not gonna say like I didn't love it. Like, of
Yeah.
course, man, the attention's
Yeah,
dope.
attention.
Sure, I'm not gonna deny that. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like this monk who's just reformed and so removed from the world. But at the same time, it definitely touched and like got my ego going. And like, I'm so grateful that Russia was something that I had to experience because my ego definitely went up, man. When
Yeah.
people, you know, like waiting to meet me and like asking to take photos and just, you know, doing whatever, like I realized, whoa, man, like all this attention, all this love, it can do something to you. It can either make you go really, really up in a positive way or it can make you go down really negatively. And so like, I mean, I was able to like quickly acknowledge it and be very mindful of my ego, you know, getting tested. And so I quickly nipped it in the butt, man. And so like I made sure that I stayed humble. And every time people were like, you know, can I thank you and do this? I'd always be like, no, you don't have to thank me. There's nothing that I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But it was very interesting, man, because one time I was in Harlem. I was doing similar work. I was taken out there to do some stuff. And yeah, sure enough, there was this, man, like people that come into my life are crazy cool. But this dude is like a Latino man. Real dope dude, man. He was like a 60-year-old like yogi. You know what I
True.
mean? Yeah, 100%. I don't even know how to explain who he was, but
Just a man full of wisdom.
boss, bro. And he comes to me, he goes, Nas, I really respect the things that you do, bro. And I said, nah, man, you don't have to respect me. It's all good. And then he goes, Nas, stop that. And I said, why? And he goes, you want to be of service to people, yeah? I'm like, absolutely. He goes, be of service to me and allow me to compliment you. Don't shut me down.
Word.
And I was like, whoa. And like, I didn't even realize, I'm trying to stay humble. But by staying humble, I basically shut him down, which wasn't a service. And I was actually doing a disservice because the guy's going to feel stupid now or not feel worthy or not feel like I was appreciating the things he was going to say for him, right? Because I was trying to do my best to be humble.
Yeah.
So I guess being humble is more so than just how you're going to act verbally. It's about how you're going to act emotionally and mentally. So like it's all within yourself. So I mean, I could thank the guy, say I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
what I do now is like I try to dictate the conversation and switch it around. So like, yo, Nas, like I love the work that you're doing. You inspire me, blah blah blah. And I'll be like,
Tell me
cool.
what you do.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your name, man? And then like I'll switch it up. I'm like, cool, what do you do? And stuff exactly like that, man. So it's cool. Like I'm able to kind of understand how to do it over the years.
That's interesting on that though, because I've been like that as well. I struggle really bad with taping compliments, And it wasn't until someone was like, just say thank you. And I was like, true.
Yeah.
That's really all you have to do. Because
Word,
it's
bro.
that acknowledgement rather than, as you said, being a
Disservice.
disservice to them by not acknowledging what they have to say.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And so, like, I mean, another thing is like, even like when you're having conversations with people, right? And like, maybe you're having what you want to call an argument, right? But if you're gonna say your point, I'm gonna say my point. And like, you say something, and before you even finish saying something, I'm already like thinking in my mind, like, how can I defend what you're saying? And I'm already coming up with an answer.
Yeah.
I'm not actually listening to you, and I'm doing a disservice to both of us. So I think it's really good to just take in what people have to say.
Oh,
And like, this thing with the streets, man, and like people in my shop, like really taking the time to allow them to feel heard. You know what I mean? And I think one of my homies, his name is Matt Brown, and he owns a barbershop out in Christchurch, and he's probably one of my biggest inspirations in life. Shout out Uso. He told me, man, this beautiful, saying, seek to understand rather than to be understood. And I was like, yo, because I felt like so much of my life, I always wanted to be understood. And I kept trying to get people to understand what I have to say. And then it just put strain on my heart. And I felt a lot of anxieties. Like, man, did they really understand what I'm saying? Did they get my point? But instead of me trying to push that, I'm trying to understand people. I think that's a real big gift, man. Like, and it allows people to really feel human and worthy enough to like have their attention put onto them. So if people want to give me their attention, so be it. That's cool. But let's share it.
but that's interesting because what he just said there, because that's a massive part. Like conversation, everybody thinks to have like a good conversation, it's just you speak to me, I speak back to you. But there's so much more to it. Like for conversation, one, you need the ability to be able to communicate.
Absolutely, bro.
Secondly, you need to be able to listen.
Absolutely, bro.
And then thirdly, you need to be able to understand what that person is trying to say.
Word.
And like without all of that without all that as a whole, like what did we even just have?
We're basically just talked.
Yeah.
And talking, like, doesn't mean anything. That talking isn't to converse. You get me? I think a conversation entails those three avenues that you just referred to. So it's like talking to each other, listening, and then trying to understand.
Yeah.
But then like talking is just people talking back and forth. So I mean, like, that's something that's really powerful. Really trying to understand and take someone's perspective into your thoughts. Empathy is very important, right? I think sympathy is something we should try to like push away from our lives, dog. With me on the streets and doing a lot of the cuts that I was doing for the homeless, like I felt real sorry for them, man.
True.
But then, yeah, absolutely, bro. Some of these stories, bro, people are like, man, they're just junkies who don't have a job. But man, imagine getting raped as a 12-year-old by your dad, bro.
Yeah, like the mental health that goes into
You know
it's
what
fucked,
I mean?
man.
And the one thing that doesn't, make you think of it at the time is a fat shot of heroin, straight up. You know what I mean? And then it's like, all right, cool. I found that vice. That seems to help at the time.
It's that little feeling of numbness just for a little bit.
I mean, that's all it is. And then it gets to a point where there's like such addiction that comes with that stuff, man. And I myself can testify to it, bro. Like drugs are just scary, and just the hold that it can have on you is a significant one that a lot of people don't realize. But it's even harder when you're doing it for a reason of escape.
Yeah.
Because then there's a double whammy. It serves two purposes. You get me? As opposed to just serving one purpose of getting high, but it's to escape whilst feeling high or feeling numb.
But it's that feeling of running away, not having to confront the problem.
Or like, yeah, exactly. So it's like that. Plus, you also feel high, which some could say feels good. You know what I mean? And like like any kind of opiate, bro, it brings on madness.
Bro.
Straight up madness, bro. Like. It's a next level world, and like, so I feel bad for people like that. I'm like, man, these guys don't have a chance, dog.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time one guy was on the nod from heroin, bro. Heroin. Here I'm saying heroin, like it's.
You're back in the States.
Yeah, straight up, like just trying to act all thugged out. Heroin, dog, and he was on the nod, straight up, bro. He was just falling asleep.
Yeah, and just
like
keeps
this
nodding
and
back
talking,
forth.
but he kept talking in his sleep about like how his uncle would molest him. And then, like, he'd wake up from anger and he'd be like, he had no right
Yeah.
taking my childhood away from me. That fuck. And I'm just looking at this guy like, what, bro? Like, imagine if he didn't get molested. Would he be in this situation right now, getting a free haircut from me on the streets of Footscray, high on heroin?
No,
Heroin.
it's a different story.
Yeah. So I mean, that's when I started to feel sorry. But then I was like, hold up, man. By feeling sorry for people, it's not doing anything for their demeanor, for their personal well-being. And so I tried to put myself in their shoes as much as I could. I could never put myself in someone's shoes like that because I wasn't molested by my uncle,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not at the moment high on heroin. But I can understand that shit. There's so much more to the story than just him being a junkie
Right.
on the streets. And that came from me not just talking to the homie, but actually communicating and conversing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me? So
Yeah,
going
bro.
back and acknowledging them, not just trying to tell them what to do, but actually try to listen. And I sought to understand, not just to be understood. And I think that's a very, very big thing in my life, man. The more you try to, you know, understand people as opposed to trying to get understood, it really opens your eyes to a lot. And
It allows you to see.
it allows you to see, bro. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And you know, that's when the ego kind of goes away. Because
Mhm.
from my ego being so high up, you know, at the time, like I was feeling it coming up. It's because I just wanted people to understand all the work that I was doing. I wanted people to know. I was like, man, look at me. I'm just making these sacrifices. And I was like, hold up. Is this about me or about the people on the streets, right? So many times I went through dilemmas. Like, I'm like, I need to delete my Instagram, Facebook. Like, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this for likes? What's a like going to do for a homeless
Yeah.
person on the street, right? And so, like, I'm so grateful to have a team, you know, that is so, you know, supportive in everything that, you know, I'm doing on the streets, that they're like, Nas, it's not about you anymore, bro.
Mm.
It's about people who come to those pages to derive inspiration. And that's where, you know, the brand name came up as We Not Me.
True.
Yeah, so that's our motto, bro, for the Streets Barber. And
We
actually,
Not
the
Me.
business of the business name actually is the Streets Barbershop, but the company name is We Not Me Proprietary Limited. So
That makes so much sense.
yeah, bro, We Not Me, bro. It's straight up. That's what I'm all about. So actually, one of the swear words in the shop that we're trying to, you know, enforce is that I or my
Yeah.
is a swear word.
True. It
So
is.
everyone's like, "Is this your business?" I'm like, "It's not my business. It's our business."
Mm-hmm.
You get me? People are kind of like, "What?"
I see you. I see
But
you.
I mean, I know what's up, so it's cool.
No, but then there's something I want to say about that too with like the homeless people. Like through my work and stuff, I've spent a fair bit of time with them. So I was able to have those conversations that you were able to have. And one thing that I've realized, even through personal experiences as well, is we're no different to them. And the only thing that's stopping us from being in their position is not having one good friend. Like, I believe that we're all one bad friend, no, one good friend away from being homeless. Like, if you don't have that one friend that'll take you in when shit's hit the fan, your life is literally going to end up like theirs. Like, you'll have to resort to the street. You'll have to resort to, like, by any means. And you'll have to do whatever you can to get by. Unless you have that one friend that acknowledges you in that shit time period in your life, and who opens up their doors. And that's so hard, especially, like, in your case, is the one you're talking about, how they were molested as, like, children and stuff like that. Because that's happened so early, they would have pushed away so many different people throughout their lives that when push comes to shove and they were hit their rock bottoms, the streets was all they had to turn to. And that's the shit. It just sits so... It pisses me off so much because there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really feel sorry for these people. And, like, that's why when I speak to homeless people and, like, when I do stuff for them that I've been doing, all I try to do is give them, like, 2-3 minutes of my time, but try and uplift them. Instead of just, as you said, trying to sympathise with them, like, I know your life's fucking shit. I know what you have to do so you don't feel the Geelong, like, frosty night all night. Like, I don't want to hear about that. I know that's what you do. Instead, I want to understand why that same man that goes through all this shit has still got a smile on his face. Has, like, when they see you and they walk past, they say what's up and they give you a hug and shit. I'm like, what makes you feel like that when there's all of this that happens around you? It's like, how has this happened to you?
Well, I mean, like, I think those who can see the biggest joys in life are the ones who've gone through greatest tribulation, bro.
True.
Think about it, though. Like, okay, if you think about, like, nature or even just general science, bro. Look at how, you know, fruits and the ground, it becomes fertile. Forget fruit, but just any kind of ground to become fertile. What do you have to do? You have to plow the ground. So you literally have to dig it inside out and turn it inside out for it to become, you know, good for harvesting. Do you get me? So that's what you think. Like, look at farms, bro. They just like turn that soil inside out. They turn the. Then look at trees, man. When you want the tree to actually become bigger and more like full, what do you got to do? You got to cut some of the branches, bro. Like, that's just
it.
absolutely, bro. Then you look at gold, bro. What do you have to make the gold pure? You have to burn it, bro. You get me? Like, it's just when you want to get bigger at the gym, what you got to do? Rip your muscles.
Break the muscle down.
It's just how it is, man. So like in order for you to exceed, bro, you got to go through some form of tribulation or trial or like defeat or wreckage or whatever it is. So, I mean, I hope like science can answer that question that you just asked. Like, how is it that you can still have that smile? Because the thing is, they've gone through more than a lot of other people. Sometimes they're not always smiling, but emotions come in waves, bro. Like sometimes they're going to crash. Sometimes it's going to be calm waters, but it's never just going to be steady.
No.
You know, that's life. But,
that's real. I never even thought about that and how, because it makes sense. It's like when they have burn-offs and stuff for farms, like how they have to burn everything so it all grows back fresh. It's like, it's literally that destruction is what brings forth new life.
Absolutely, bro. And it's just how it is, man. Like, it's
I never
crazy.
thought about it.
Bro,
Yeah.
bro. It's facts, dog. You know what I mean? So, I think personally for me, like, I'm really grateful that I would have gone through some of my tribulations and trials. I know it sounds messed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful for my hard times, but think about after what we just spoke about, that it's allowed for rebirth and for me to be able to empathize and like kind of feel motivated in what I got to do. You know, going back to what you were saying about, I think everyone's just one good friend away from being homeless. Like, I think a good friend can be, it doesn't have to just be like an acquaintance or a mate. It could be a family member you can consider a friend as well, like a brother or a cousin or an aunt or anybody. But I think you're absolutely right. And that's the thing, you know, when you're saying all they've got is the streets to turn to, there's a couple people that I've met on the streets that have actually turned to the streets because streets is home for them, because the people on the streets are good, you know. And like, I'll never forget one time, like, I gave a homeless dude a sandwich and he ate half of it. And then he goes, yo, he's like, can you, I was giving him a haircut. Yeah, I was giving him a haircut. And he tells his boy who, was just there. He goes, yo, give the sandwich to the other dude right beside him, like another homeless person.
Yeah.
Because I think his friend was already full or whatever.
Right.
And so he didn't even know him. Like, I'm like, do you know him? He goes, nah, he's just one of the street homies. You know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, man, like that, like it's like a code, man.
There's
like,
a community.
It's a community, but they've all gone through like trials and tribulations, so they know what it's like to look after one another, right? And it's like they keep it real, bro. And like, we look at these guys on the streets like they're just like, what, man? Just petty and, you know, worthless thieves who just are not good for anything. But in reality, their hearts are probably 10 times bigger than 80% of the people that like I meet inside my shop.
I know that they're tougher too.
They're tougher, yeah. I mean, I think that could be subjective too, because like they're tougher, but sometimes you could say with people who are on the drugs, you know what I mean? They're tougher, but they have an escape.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
And so, but then again, you can say other people have different coping mechanisms. You know what I mean? Like,
not maybe tough wasn't the right word, but at least to a degree, somewhat more resilient. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely resilient, because they're able to withstand all those, you know, hard times with the drugs, lack of food, malnutrition, you know, sleepless nights from the cold, etc. And they're still kicking it. That's what I call resilience. So I think, yeah, man, like my heart goes out to these guys, and like making people on the streets feel human, feel real, feel like they're worthy of stuff, man, is deep, right? It's more powerful than I think many people can really understand. You know, like you got to realize, how good do you feel, Dre, when you like wash your hands, dog? You feel clean, bro. What was the first thing you did when we got to the crib, man? You're just like, yo, I need to wash my hands real quick, because you just felt dirty, man. You know, imagine someone coming in like being like, yo, can I give you a cleanup? Can I trim your beard down? You want some aftershave and some deodorant? Like, when you're sitting in filth and thinking like filth, feeling like filth, etc. And then someone does that, yeah, man. A simple thing like washing your hands. I imagine like a full like general makeover with smelling good. Like, it can do so much for you, bro. It can do so much for you. And I remember like sleepless nights, man, when I'd come home after a week or two on the, you know, on the binge, and I just look at myself in the mirror, bro. You know, after I'm gonna come down, I'm about to go to sleep, and I just fall into this sad, dark state where I'm just bawling my eyes out, Dre. Like, I hated everything about myself.
Because when you looked in the mirror, there was nothing that reflected any form of positivity back to you.
Any form of positivity, bro. I just looked at the mirror and I hated everything I was, and I would just bawl my eyes out, bro. Like, not even like crying or sniffling. Like I'm talking about like weeping, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Bruv,
those
like,
tears with tears and snot and mouths open. You know, like those ones.
but it's a perfect representation of how you feel.
Yeah,
And probably
man.
the fact that that was probably the first time in that couple of weeks where you felt something.
Word.
And it just comes in and it really just,
Yeah, so it's like an overload.
bang,
Yeah. Word. Absolutely. So, I mean, like the streets, man, like is something that I was doing. But one of the things that I noticed a lot was like a lot of the people I gave haircuts to were just coming in and out of jail, you know,
Yeah.
or like I'll be giving them haircuts before court cases, right?
Mhm.
Like on the streets, like, oh, can you lace me up? I've got court in like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, because I used to like kick it around Footscray a lot, so I became like
Yeah, you were known.
quite. I hate saying known once again.
No,
It's
no,
the
but
ego
like,
thing, but it's true.
yeah,
All right, you know what?
yeah.
Fuck it. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I became known. I walked down. I used to go around trying to find homeless people. Then it got to a point that on the Sundays or the Mondays that I'd be there, I would just go to the same spot and just put my tools out. And people would be like, "Yo, Nas, can I get a haircut?" Or "Streets, can I get a haircut?" So it became like that. So
And
yeah,
you weren't known for not known for having clout, but you were known for
just giving haircuts
if
to
you
the
needed
community.
a trim and you were less fortunate, like you were that dude.
Straight up, bro. That's
And there's
what it
like
was.
there's no ego about that. You were just
No.
like you were that dude.
And so sometimes like I'd see people and like because I've been in the same spot, like they maybe do like a stint of like 6 months in jail, and I've been doing this, man, like clout, bro, and like this whole thing like comes and goes like waves, kind of like our emotions, you know. But when it went, I was still doing it. When it was high, I was still doing it. Nothing changed, bro, because it wasn't for that. That's why like I would continue doing it. And so, yeah, I would see some of the guys coming through and, you know, like, oh, yo, Nas, I just did like 6 months in Port Phillip, bro. Like, I'm just out now. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, bro. Like, are you going to do better? He's like, yeah, man, I really want to change. And sure enough, they'd be back, right? So, man, I remember like 2 years ago, no, maybe 3 years ago now, actually, I was just sitting one day at my barbershop after work. And I'm like, man, I'm like so tired, bro. Like I'd be doing long ass shifts at work.
Still.
I wasn't taking I wasn't taking care of my body, bro. I'd come home, my homies would want a haircut, you know, and then I'd be like doing, you know, street cuts or like going to a, you know, a shelter or whatever and doing cuts on my days off. And then I really didn't have much time to myself.
It's just work.
Work, serve, work, serve. And then it got to a point where I was like, I got really sick. I got glandular fever. And so I was like out for a while and I hurt my back and I wasn't taking care of myself, man. Nothing that like a 20 something year old, you know, youth should be going through. But I always made the joke and the reference like I can rest when I'm dead. But shit,
Bro.
I realized that's not true. So, I mean, like it got to a point where this is where I started to really realize things needed to change was when I was too tired to go and do volunteer work. I couldn't take the time off of work because of my visa. So I'm like stuck to a contract. So I have to show up or else I'm going to get kicked out of the country.
Yeah.
And so I'd just be like, oh, bro, I can't go on the shoot today. I have to go next week. And then it kind of went on where I'd only be able to do it like once or twice a month as opposed to every weekend like I used to. Then I was like, what am I doing, man? I'm killing myself. I'm like working to live, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing the other way. Or is it work to live or live to work? Which one's the? Okay, let's actually talk about it right now. So
Yeah, it's pretty much both if you think about it.
but one's like I work just to live, and the other one is I live just to work. Yeah, there we go. So I was living just to work, right? Like I wasn't living to serve. And so
Living to serve.
yeah, of course, bro. That's the purpose. I'll get into that in a minute, but like or maybe like 30 minutes. Because we know how this all started, Junior Gang.
Yeah.
How funny is that? Look at where we've gone from that, bro.
No, but stay on that. So you're living to work.
Living to work. And then I realized that like this isn't what I want to do. This isn't my purpose. This isn't what I'm about. And I decided that I need to do more volunteer work. Now, it was in my forefront of my mind that I have to volunteer as much as possible, but at the same time I would also think about how a lot of the homeless guys that I'd be lacing up were coming in and out of jail. And so I decided to myself, I'm like, man, I need to start getting a program up in jail and teaching these dudes how to cut. Do you get me? And I remember sitting after work one day thinking about it.
Because upskilling them as well, like give them something positive to come out and do.
That fish line, like what is it? Like give a man a fish, feed him for a night, but teach how to fish, feed him for life.
Yeah.
You get me? So like, I mean, it's kept me sober 7 years now, bro. 7.5. Cutting hair, because this is my new drug now, bro. Making someone feel good is the best high that I can get. So
True.
cutting is the drug, but the feeling I can get from the person in the chair is the high.
Yeah.
You get me? So like I said, man, it gave me motivation, it gave me purpose. Obviously, giving back was such a big thing for me. And so this prison thing seemed next to none. And so I was all motivated. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And sure enough, bro, I was hollering at so many different prisons within Victoria. No one was giving me a chance, dog. No one. Bro.
Why do you think that is?
Well, going back to the private prisons, man, and like, I mean, I tried to not say, I try to stay so far away from controversy as possible. That's just
Yeah.
how I am, man. But I feel that because it's private, they don't really have the
Oh, it's personal interest.
more or less exactly personal. They don't have the public's interest in rehabilitation. You get me? Like it's more just for money in the bank,
Labor. Because
whatever.
let's be real, like that's what happens.
Yeah, whatever it may be, bro. Like, I mean, when it's a private prison, like it's not like you're getting the government to severely help you out, right? So,
So something's paying for it.
so if I'm gonna come as a free service to teach dudes how to cut, I just don't think it was on their radar to be like, yeah, because there's so much to go into these programs and like to get into jail that's just so much extra work for a private prison to want to deal with. Sure enough, I feel like I'm not gonna mention which one, but I would call this specific prison over and over and over, maximum security, and they eventually like barred my calls. Like as in
True.
they would put me through to one person, to another person, to
Yes.
another person, and then eventually I would call that same line again, and then they wouldn't pick up. So then I've got two PAs. I've got Sarah, who was my PA for Geelong,
Shout out to Sarah.
big time represent, bro, and Rose, also from Melbourne. She's freaking awesome too. Shout out to Rose. And they helped me so much, man, because I felt so overwhelmed with emails and all my like work and everything that I had to do, plus my actual job, plus cutting hair, and then interviews, for example. To this day, people want to write stuff up and do different things, so it's just like I get so flustered and like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So they kind of just took over on the administration side of things, and so.
Just told you where to be, pretty much. They're like, be
Or,
here
yeah.
at this time. Like,
Yeah, straight up though. Like it's funny you say that, but like I actually have like a calendar on my phone that Sarah has linked with her phone as well. And
Yeah.
so the two of us just it's kinda like if it's not in Timetree, don't worry about it. And Timetree's the app. So
Yeah.
like for example, if I put something in it, she knows that day's off. So she's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, what's the podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Dre's thing." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So she knew what it was all about. But the struggle is real, bro. It's not just cutting
Right.
hair, eh? And so I'm so grateful for those guys, man. Like they're so good, and they've helped me so much. They've helped me serve others too. By serving to me, they allow me to serve others. Like it's a powerful thing, bro. And yeah, so Rose ended up getting barred from the calls. I remember like one time she's like, "I can't call, I can't get through. No one was letting me talk,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Man, that's crazy." So like. At that point, I was like motivated, bro. I would meet up with different people.
True.
I was like, this is not gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna just give up on these guys. And so Rose, after she tried, I ended up meeting a different group of people, going into different businesses, meeting CEOs or whatever who had connections potentially. And one person would lead me to another person would lead me to another, and they're like, "Oh, we think something's really gonna come up." And sure enough, nothing happened. Anyways, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Screw this. This is my focus point, bro. And so I'm like, I need to do more volunteer work. I want to go into the prisons, and I'm busting my ass working at this job, which I loved, and the place is lit, bro. Like I'm telling you right now, like the shop that I was at in Melbourne was awesome. Brother Wolf. I love the boys.
Oh,
I
true,
love the
that's where it
squad.
all- Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I was, and like leaving there is just foolish. But like I said, I wasn't trying to live to work. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move to some rural area where I can focus a little bit more and be in the more downtime. For me, Geelong was rural because I was living in Paran, dog. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
like,
Like Chapel Street vibes.
People consider Geelong a city, and I'm like, nah, son, this is rural as fuck.
Yeah, but for me, it's becoming a city though.
Yeah,
Like
oh, yeah.
big time now.
Every day.
It's bigger and bigger, bro. It's becoming the next big smoke in my eyes, man. Like, and so I came out here with a purpose, man. And I came here so I can put more time into the streets, and so I can put any extra, if not more, into the prisons. And yeah, man, once I moved down here, I worked in a job, in Geelong and cutting hair a few days a week. My agreement was to do 4 days, and then the 3 days I would just give back
Do
onto
your
the
other
streets.
shit.
Yeah, and which was awesome because I was doing so much, bro.
Because it's perfect balance. For a man like you sound like you struggle with everything and how to keep that balance.
Word.
And by that move to Geelong, you were like, sweet. Instead of just giving me 2 days or 1 day potentially to do my shit, I've
Yeah.
now got 3.
Absolutely, and that's what it was, and that was the agreement, right? So it was good, and yeah, man, it was great. Like the amount of volunteering that I was able to do, the amount of service, connections, people I got to meet, and yeah, man. Like I guess through the grapevine, this is the crazy thing, bro. I ended up knowing one of my homies who's one of the workshop officers at MRC, Metropolitan Remand Center. And he's like, we have a youth week or whatever, come in and give a talk to the boys. So I came and talked to the boys. I met the staff. Dude, man, MRC, because they're on remand, so they haven't been
It's
sentenced
different.
yet.
That's where you've got all the bad of the bad. Like everyone's waiting for their sentencing, and that's fucking
And
another
they're
place.
pretty fresh too, so like these guys are kind of loose and like man, it was intimidating. But I remember I'll never forget. Like I got onto that level one time, so you got this duress button, so it's a button you press
Yeah.
in case you're gonna get attacked. And so the workshop officer left me, and the prison officers weren't around me, and I was in a room with a whole bunch of hardened criminals, straight up hardened too.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. I'm not
They
just
could
saying
be
like,
anywhere from driving offences to murder, just waiting to be sentenced. Like you don't know.
absolutely. And I look at these guys, they're looking at me. I'm telling them my story. I'm talking about barbering and what I want to give these dudes, and I did this stupid thing, man, but I just felt right at the moment. I had my duress button. I look at these boys and I said, man, I'm trying to be on your guys' level. So I take it off and I put it beside me.
Yeah.
Now, that could have been like serious repercussions, right? Because these guys could have just used whatever.
Took
they could-
advantage.
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like as soon as you saw some of the OGs kind of nod, like it was dope.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good form of respect, or sign of respect for them to acknowledge my sincerity about like I'm really trying to just like
We're all on the
vibe with
same
them.
level. There's no difference between me and you.
No way, bro. No matter what you've done, like we can hate your sin, but there's no need to hate the sinner. You get me? And so, yeah, man. Like after that, it was great. Everyone's like, you know, I really like this Nas guy. Like let's get this program going. And then they
Yeah, because
kept
their energy would have changed after that.
heaps, bro. And then even like the staff and everything were like, this kid's, you know, got a cool program. Let's get it going. And sure enough, I believed everything was gonna happen. I was so excited. After like 6 months of me moving to Geelong, I'm like, I finally got a chance. And then my boy tells me that the POs, prison officers, actually decided not to have the program because it was gonna make more work for them. And they went up to the union and they appealed it, or like they did something about it with the union. And even though the staff and like the prison workers, not the officers, but the workers, like the workshop officers and all that stuff, workshop coordinators, were all for it. I think they have different.
Upper management had the final
yeah.
say.
Absolutely, and it sucked, man. Like it's crazy because I think there's such a culture in prison, man. Like for the most part, not so much nowadays. I think because I think a lot of guys are trying to change it, but the prison officers hate the inmates. The inmates hate the prison officers. Like
Oh, it's definitely
from what I
us
gathered,
versus them.
big time, bro.
I know guards who have that same mindset.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. Guards, the same thing. Prison officers and guards, the same thing. So, but just different words. And like, bro, it's just, and it's crazy, man. It's just like Palestine-Israel vibes, or like,
It's just a power trip.
what I'm trying to get at with the Palestine-Israel vibes, though, it's like one person does something to the other, and the other one's like, yo, what the hell, man? And they want to do it right back, which just aggravates and just goes in this toxic-ass cycle.
Bro, that's an eye for an eye. That's like, there are so many things in this world that happen purely off that logic.
Absolutely, bro. And like that's the thing, like everyone's saying who did what first. Palestine and Israel are both in the wrong, but they're also both in the right. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm trying to get at. The criminals and the prison officers are both in the right and they're both in the wrong. Like they try to flex their power, the prison officers, but then the inmates
Don't wanna
hate the authority and they just do everything they can back to like show like strength to the boys. You know what I mean? And be like, yo, I don't take no crap, right? It's just how it is.
But then think about what happens if you don't. If a screw puts one on you and then, like, you go back to all the boys, then they outcast you because they're like, oh.
There we go. So it's a weird culture, man, they got going there. So I think the prison officers at MRC, from what I gathered, was they were, like, so not for the program because I think they didn't want to really give these guys another chance. From my understanding, I could be wrong. But there we go.
No,
so
but
that
to a
happened.
degree, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. That was the end of the MRC, and I was bummed out, man, because I was so close. I literally tasted, you know, the finish line. I was so excited, but then obviously, I fell through.
But then there would have been so much reassurance in that. Because then that was probably the first time where you were like, I knew I was like on the right path.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
like, this is what I want. This might not be where it is, but I know I'm going the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so, but then I kind of had like I got really disheartened too. I was like, man, that's the end of it. Like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it anymore because I didn't know which other prisons and like hookups I could get into because I've been trying for like 2 years.
Bro, this is just where you say emotions come in waves.
Word, bro. You know, and I felt defeat, but I didn't give up though. You get me? I felt defeat, but I didn't give up.
The big difference.
Very, very much so. You can
One's
feel
an
defeat.
L and one's a learning experience.
Yeah, bro. A true boss isn't someone until they can accept a loss. Well, how does it? Yeah, something along those lines.
Accept the
Anyway.
loss and learn from it.
No, but there was a word that was like wording though, like the way it said it. It's like you're not a boss until you can accept a loss or something like that.
True.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like, you know what I mean? If you can accept a loss, accept it. You know, it doesn't mean that you're gonna like conform to it, but you accept it. You're like, yeah, I lost. Like that's when you're a boss. Like you're like, all right, cool, but you continue. But so I'm going back to the shop. I'm still doing my homeless cutting. I'm doing what I got to do, trying to give back as much as I can. But I'm still like trying to figure out what I can do with the prisons. Seeing if we can go to the the union and appeal it, et cetera, et cetera. And
Just
then
trying to do anything.
one day I got a call, man, from the prisons down Bowen, Marganet Way, and it's, hey, we heard you're interested in cutting hair, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And so they're like, cool, we'll just arrange a time to meet up. And I was like,
True.
cool. And then like a couple days later, straight up, I got a call again, like, hey, we just heard that you're trying to do prison work with the barbering program or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But I just got a call. Is this the same person? Like, no, who called you? And I was like, oh, so and so. And they're like, oh, no, mate, that's just at the prison next door. And I was like, what? And then so what happened was the prison system is so small, yeah. I mean, like as like Grapevine, like there's a huge prison system. But all I'm trying to get at is like
The message only goes between
yeah,
a
yeah,
few.
yeah, and it can go around like that, bro. You find out something that happened like Northern Victoria, you'll find out like in Adelaide, but like it's just how it is. And they found out about this kid who wants to teach and barbering and et cetera, and like word of mouth went around. And I didn't even say anything at this specific prison, but I guess either it came up from MRC or it's come from the inmates that I got to meet. But the word got around, and then one prison officer saying it from Marganet that I was gonna come cut hair when I really wanted to teach the boys how to cut. Then the other guy knew that I wanted to come for the program, and so he brought me in, and I basically met them both on the same day, and then they just showed me both prisons.
Yep.
And then we decided to go to the protection prison for the first part and do the program there, which is the real messed up prison, man. Like,
Like
these are the
I know,
heads.
like
There's a reason why they're protection. Let's just say, right? And
because I can't be with everybody else
no, absolutely not, because yeah, some
due
serious
to their
issue had-
circumstances.
Word, bro. And like 2 months ago, after 2 years of being in Geelong, I had my first program at that prison, bro. So it's an ongoing 6-month program. I didn't give up, kept going, and took me about 18 months roughly, bro, to get the program started in that prison. We had to do so much, bureaucracy, meeting different people, getting approvals for that.
Playing by their rules.
Yeah, bro, meeting this person, talking to the warden, seeing if everything works, meeting the prisoners. But a weird sense of authority, man, that I felt when I walked up to the prison. So I did the orientation thing, right? And like I met all these prisoners and explained to them what I'm about. And then like after the orientation, like you get like 15 dudes, man, who were like, you're talking about like the scariest motherfuckers too, bro. Like face tattoos,
But
big ass
serious
head.
ones.
Serious, bro, coming up and shaking my hand, being like, yeah, sir, I would love, like, sir, bro, like, I would love to be in this program with you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, cool, I'll see what I can do. Like, please let me be in this. And there's, like, so much pressure came on my heart, bro. I was like, damn, dude, like, I don't want to have to say no to you. But I couldn't really dictate. We could only do 6 people. We could only pick 6 people.
But bro, that shows me how there's such an emphasis on those programs to be done in those places.
Word, bro.
Because how do you have OGs like that coming up to you, pleading for an opportunity?
Straight up, bro.
Put that man on the street. He's not asking nicely.
No.
So, but now here he is,
Absolutely,
greeting you
bro.
with sir, treating you with just the most utmost respect.
It was crazy. And there was a line of them too, bro. Like 20, 25, 30 people just waiting one by one to shake my hand. And like I kept having to say, yeah, I'll see what we can do. We had to do an application process, bro, because the list was so big. And then we asked a few questions. First of all, when they're going to come out. Because depending on whether they're going to come out sooner or later, we were going to give them the more of a what is it, more of a chance of getting in the program, because the sooner they come
So
out,
like a rehabilitation kind of thing.
more or less,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because if you're gonna come out in like 2 years, then you're more likely to be in the program than 20 years. Because we're trying to get guys to come back and it's cool because we were able to strike up a deal where if these dudes want to do their hours for community service once they're released, they can do it with me on the streets, giving
True.
haircuts to homeless people. Yeah, absolutely. So like that's dope, bro. Like,
But that's the bit that the powers that be are missing. You're upskilling all these individuals. The biggest problem with prison is, I forgot the word, but I think it's recidivism, which is where they get out and they repeat, like they offend again, they get put back in.
yeah,
But what you're doing is, once these people are getting out, they've now got a skill or a tool that they can use.
a legitimate form of income and
Yeah.
something that could potentially elevate themselves. Absolutely, bro. Like that's, I mean, like I'm not trying to say that this is gonna happen. A lot of people can laugh like cutting hair is not gonna teach these guys not to fucking reoffend. But what I'm trying to get at is, yeah, it may not. But
It's
I
an
mean, it's
option.
helped me. I'm a walking fact, bro. I'm like a stat that proves that that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine giving one dude this opportunity out of maybe the 300 that I'm going to do for the next, because this is a 6-month program and I'm going to continue it, bro. So
Yeah.
long as no one, shuts it down by stealing a pair of scissors or whatever the hell it is. And corrections like not no more.
Yeah.
Because they're watching us, bro. Like,
bro, like the
dude, the
whole-
minister's got the eyes on this program now. Straight up, bro.
Yeah.
And in my class, dude, like straight up, 3 murderers, 2 sex offenders, full-time junkie, self-proclaimed.
No, but
Um,
give a man 23 hours a day, he'll find something to get high off.
yeah, no, but in prison, he's
Yeah.
actually trying to stay sober. But I'm saying when he's out, like he's
Oh,
40-something years old, but he's been getting on and off the streets, man, since he was like a kid, bro. And he's just all-time junkie. He called him. He's like, man, I was with Boom and a couple of the other crew, man, from the shop, and he just kind of explaining. Everyone was explaining what they did, and he goes, yeah, man, like when I'm on the outside, I'm a real bad junkie, and I stopped him like, homie, like when the hell are you ever gonna be a good junkie? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
Like
like,
the only
is it-
good that you're
yeah,
gonna
true.
get is getting high, like, but you're not gonna be a good junkie. We're all bad junkies, bro. You get me?
Yeah,
Anyways,
there's no levels to this shit.
nah, so we all laughed, and like that was it. But one of the guys is kind of crazy because he killed someone back in his country, and then he had to flee because he was gonna get the death penalty, and so he came and. Then he got involved with some like crime around here, and then he got put into prison. So once he's basically gonna get released, he has to be sent back to his country, which is
and
crazy.
cop his shit.
Well, I'm just thinking to myself, like, how is that possible? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, he's gonna be released, but he's gonna get basically taken care of back home. But I'm not sure how it's gonna work. Maybe they're gonna send him to like, I don't know, some form of refuge. I don't know. It's pretty nuts, bro. Like,
All
the
you can do
system.
for them ones is just fingers crossed that.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But I mean, like a lot of people come to me and they're like, man, like, how can you do this to these people? And it's like, bro, because the chances they're going to get out. One of the guys, he's going to get out in like 20 years. And the reason why we gave him the program is because he's in for a very gruesome murder, like very, very bad. And it's serious what he did. But giving him an opportunity to serve on the inside is something that I was trying to work on. So like, forget just having the guys who are going to come out, but if he can help people on the inside, so cutting their hair and all about the service aspect of it, then
He'll do your job for you.
and that's what we're hoping for. So I mean, that's why he's doing it. But like the sex offenders and everybody else, they're going to come out, bro, regardless of whether or not I teach them or not. And so if they're going to come out and there's potential opportunity for them to reoffend, they're just going to go back in and it's going to be the same thing, and another family's going to be hurt, another child's going to be molested, or someone's going to get killed, whatever it may be. I don't even know what the situation can come from their release, but let's just say this program does help one of these dudes, bro. That means this guy's not going to reoffend. Let's just say he was a pedophile, he's not going to touch another kid, all right, which means their family's going to be all good, which means that when that kid grows up, chances are he won't be a higher stat or possibility for him to become a pedophile, which is something I heard and I was blown away, bro.
Right.
Like, most pedophiles have actually been molested as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's making me think, like, would that person have become a pedophile if he wasn't molested? Now, I'm not here, bro. Hold on. This is a disclaimer. I am not here giving any form of approval to any pedophile. Okay, please don't think that I'm trying to say they're all good. Please.
That they're all good.
What I'm trying to say is I'm doing my best, and the only thing that I can do as a barber to allow these, whatever the crime was, whether it was pedophilia or killing or drug dealing or whatever it is, an opportunity that when they come out to not reoffend because they have found purpose in a craft that is legitimate. You treat a dog like a dog, they're gonna act like a damn dog. Look at Tarzan, bro. He was raised by gorillas. Homie's been swinging from trees for the last 30 years.
Literally. But like, man, there's so much to that though, because as you said, at the end of the day, some of these people will get out, and if these people get out and we just label them as monsters, like
All these
why-
guys are gonna get out, bro.
yeah, like why are
Straight
we
up.
surprised that they behave like monsters when that's how we treat them?
Bro, it's crazy, man. I go to jail, man, and like these guys, like it's straight up a human zoo, bro. Because think about it, like
Bro, it's a
you walk in,
it's a
everyone,
viewing.
everyone stops. They look at you, kind of like animals in a cage, bro. Like they stop looking at you, and you're looking at them. No one's saying anything. Everyone's just like hyper alert, just like kind of wondering what's going on. You know, any chance for attack, you don't know. It's mysterious. And then you go by cages, and people are just in these cages, kind of like animals are. You know what I mean? And just observing one by one, and you come out. You know, and like it's a human zoo, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're treating these guys like animals, bro, it's just bound to be. I think the greatest feel, and this goes back to the homeless thing, and something that I've realized. Like I'm trying to do my best to allow people to feel human, to feel like they're worthy, to feel like they matter, no matter what they've done. And the one thing that's allowed me to continue with this prison program was that I hate their sin,
Yeah, okay.
but I'm not gonna hate the sinner.
Mm.
It's my duty as a person to try to look past that. Am I a human being with flaws? Absolutely, bro. But if people hated me for what I've done, bro, then I don't think a single soul in this world will love me. I've made so many freaking stupid choices and bad mistakes. I've been given many chances in life too. So it'll almost be a crime.
To not return
To-
that favor.
Absolutely, bro. I've been given many chances, bro.
Because that's literally where I was going to get to next. So I was like, you yourself said you're that statistic. Like, how did you know that you had to turn that around? Like, just,
You want to go down memory lane real quick?
bro, we got nothing but time. But how did you know? Like,
So yeah, man. Like I mean, I was back in the day when I was from how I started getting high pretty late in my teenage years.
and when you say, like, nah, because getting high can mean absolutely anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I first started smoking weed, man. Like and then like just really really casual, if you want to call it casual, when I was younger, and then 17, 16, and I grew up in a family that no one does anything, bro.
True.
Like my family, we're Baha'is. Baha'is believe in all faiths. They believe in one God. They believe in everyone.
Yeah.
And whether you religious or not, whether you believe in God or not, we're still one, bro. Doesn't
Yeah.
make a difference, right? And so the one thing that they encourage as Baha'is is to not, and it's mandatory, is that we do not take a substance that alters our state of mind.
Yeah.
Because we're taking away from our true selves, kings and queens that we are.
And that's all substances do.
And
Alter a frame of consciousness.
Absolutely, and it takes us further away from our true selves, bro. And if we think our true selves are kings and queens, then we will eventually act like that. You get me? So, but by not acting like a king and a queen, we're going away from who we really are and who we've been blessed with to be. And so, never grew up with stuff like that. And when I finally grew up with it, I was doing it due to a lot of insecurities, man, because my family was the bomb, bro. Like, my brothers were so cool.
But it
and
makes
they
me
still
so happy
are.
that you said that word. Because that's, at the end of the day, what it is.
Yeah, big time, bro. Big time. People don't admit it, though. I mean, once it becomes a problem and addiction, yeah, sure, your body has such a grasp for it. But a lot of the times it's because you're
It's
trying to
stemmed-
hide
yeah.
something or you're trying to run away from something. And my escape was the fact that my family were such admirable and amazing souls in the community. And
And what did that, mate? So, because they were like that, did that almost make you, as rough as it sounds, like resent it?
okay, I resented it because, okay, so I tried to do what they were doing. I wasn't trying to do it as in like I wasn't trying to do it how they were doing it. I
Yeah.
was trying to do what they were doing in regards to careers and professions and everything. And the more I tried to become someone I wasn't, the further I went from myself. And the further I went from myself, I lost myself, bro. And I started losing myself. And I guess that's where the resentment came in, because I could never succeed the way they did.
Yeah.
Because I was trying so hard to do something that wasn't me. So like my brothers, for example, went to the best universities. You know, they were getting awesome grades. They were taken around the world working for non-governmental organizations, doing volunteer work in the Pacific or in Asia. And my cousins were like CEOs of companies, UN officials, diplomats, bro, UN officials,
Yeah.
all right? Like
There's established people.
very much so, but they were all doing it not just like working in the headquarters, but like working in the headquarters for like for helping refugees, for example.
Yeah.
Or like my aunt was a physician for like, you know, in West Africa. Like most of my family grew up in West Africa. We grew up in Japan. Like my dad was like in the Philippines with my mom back in the day. Shout out, boom. And so like, you know, all around the world. And so for me to try to do what they were doing, you know, on a more academic or like a career level, I was never able to succeed.
Professional.
Yeah, I was never able to succeed. And the one thing I used to always do was cut hair, man. But like they'd always be like, "Why don't you cut hair, man, for a living?" And I'd get so offended, thinking, "Is that all you guys think I'm worthy of?
Yeah, just
Do you
a
guys think I
barber."
can do anything else?" Yeah, just the barber, exactly, dog. And so, yeah, one day my mom told me, like, they sat me down, like, Nas, like, you know, so long as you do some. My brother actually suggested, Nas, you should really do it one time. And like, I had like a 3-day break from getting high because I was at my brother's wedding, and I couldn't really leave the apartment.
True.
Yeah, so I kind of like, and that was like the longest period I had in a long time. And I'm talking about,
So
it went
how
from
old were you
weed
now,
to
sorry?
like cigarettes. I was 22.
Yeah.
This is not just weed and cigarettes, or I mean, not weed and cigarettes, weed and alcohol. This is like opiates,
Yeah, you're
opium.
fucking having a real go.
Yeah, like serious stuff, painkillers.
Not having a real go as in like having a real, but like.
No,
yeah,
but I think we
yeah.
both know what you mean by that, bro.
I
Like,
was just clarifying for everyone else because I'd be like, fuck.
no, having like like I guess it is a real go when you're smoking, you know, weed, but like it's like a different level of seriousness, I think, when you are using opium, bro. Like,
Bro, it's a different.
yeah, and like painkillers or like coke, just to on the regular daily, you know what I mean? So yeah, he sat me down. He's like, Nas, like, I know you've been getting mad over the past few years about not being able to be like us, and you keep like going backwards in life and failing, and you know you're feeling a lot of resentment and like insecurities, and you're getting high. And like everyone knew I was getting high, bro. But we really think you should be a barber, bro. And I was like, I was mad at first, but then I kind of like saw the sincerity in his eyes. And my family was sitting around the kitchen.
Yeah.
At the time, and I was just there, and I look at my mom and my dad, and I'm like, guys, do you guys really, you know, like support this? And they're like, you know, Nas, so long as you do anything in the spirit of service, we will always, always, always support you.
True.
And like, I took it in, and I was cool. And then my brother got married, and then I got right back into it, right? So, but this time I got really bad into it.
Wait, so you went straight back to it?
The drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, because I left the wedding.
Yeah. And not only that, like you got all this information while you were essentially coming down. So like you're already so like, and then you're hearing all this, and then just from everything that you said there, even how your brother was like, we think you should, we think, like no one was ever like, Nas, what is,
Yeah.
what is,
Of course. And so like, it's a good point, by the way, Jay. So then so then I went back to just getting high, and then like at this point, like I started, everyone just like, man, like there's nothing else we can do. I've had interventions, I've had people bawl their eyes out, like go crazy. My girlfriend at the time left me. My friends stopped wanting to hang out with me because I was always just that kid who was buzzing off coke like crazy and like shit tons of booze and just, you know,
you're just trying to party every day.
Yeah, bro. And then you know, my brothers were like, man, there's nothing else we can do. You're bringing us down. My dad was like, it's the same thing. And the only person who wasn't, you know, giving up on me fully was my mom, you know, like, and I just go on like 2-week binges, like I was mentioning earlier, where I'd come back just bawling my eyes out. But
Yeah.
I'd always have like a Tupperware full of fruits and veggies all cut up.
What, from your mom?
just ready for me to come home and just eat it, man, at all times. And like sometimes I want to come home and you could see like she would just force herself to eat all these fruits so they won't go off and just keep replenishing it. And like, man, such a good lady, bro.
Yeah, shout out to her. That's a real.
That's my one friend, if you get me. You know that you were talking about earlier. And so I mean, I guess my brothers and my dad and everybody else is, but like she just made sure that like, you know, she didn't give up on me. And
it's not like she was enabling. She was just
No
making
way,
sure,
bro.
like,
no way, bro.
that when you were here, you had everything you needed to make sure you saw the next day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was going down a route that I think no one thought I was gonna make it to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to a point where like I couldn't fit enough coke in my nose, and it would just fall out, bro. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because
The
the nostrils were just like so full. And then I remember reading a book. You remember Red Hot Chili Peppers, the group?
Yeah.
And Anthony Kiedis had a book called Scar Tissue about how he used to whack coke, and whack is like shoot, right? And so he used to shoot that and heroin, and it's just a thug in me,
No.
baby. Like I can't.
That's how I say it as well, which is as bad as it is.
And so yeah, man, like I read that and I was like, cool, I might as well just, you know, shoot it up one night. And so I was in my house basement like at like 4 a.m, and I was just like trying to think about how I can get high. And I just remember my cat had diabetes, and my mom used to shoot insulin into her, right? So we had these little needles for her, my cat. And then I grabbed that, and then I needed a cable or something like that, and I didn't have anything around. My friend's Xbox was in the corner, so I grabbed one of the cables from the back of the cable from the Xbox. I wrapped that around my bicep, and then I didn't know what to do, so I just Googled how to shoot coke.
True.
And yeah, man, there's blogs and all these things. It's scary, bro. Yeah, the internet's
Like
messed
10
up,
steps
bro.
on how to do it. That's
Straight up, bro. Like, you know, WikiHow with like the photos and stuff. We didn't actually have that, but it was pretty much.
Pretty
bro.
much.
And so, yeah, man, I ended up getting high like that, bro. But the thing is, I was such a junkie, bro, that I was too much of a stingy bastard to take the water a little bit out of the needle. And the reason why you do that is so you don't have the air bubbles that go into your veins. Because if they travel up to your brain, yeah, you're KO'd.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't die, though, is because my cat's needles were small.
Yeah.
So the amount of air,
There wasn't that much.
enough for me not to die. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And so after finishing my bag, and I'm doing this with myself, yeah. Just
Yeah,
man,
like,
so it wasn't with anyone.
That's not something that you wouldn't go to that lengths if there were people around as well.
I think if I wasn't that deep in the situation, yeah. I mean, I don't think I care if anyone was around or not. I was just that deep into it that I just wanted to get high. And the next day I wake up, man, and like half the reason why you get sick or you're so addicted is because you get sick. Sorry, and you get sick because you need more drugs because your body's going through withdrawals. And man, I'll never forget. I just was going crazy, and I was just like craving some more. And I run upstairs and I see my mom. Like, Mom, I need money. And she goes, Nas, I don't have any money. Please don't do this to me. And I say, I need money, Mom. Like, she goes, for what? I'm like, I need it for the food because my friends are going out for food. It's my friend's birthday. And she's like, Nas, I got food downstairs. Please don't do this to me. I'm like, Mom, I don't want your damn food. Like, insulting her. Like, your food sucks, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Nas, please. Nas, I just bought groceries. And I'm like, you know, pure drug addict, just conniving ways. Mom, give me some money. I start overpowering her. Sweet old Persian lady. And she goes, Nas, please. And I said, Mom. And I started threatening her almost, basically. And then she just goes, okay. And she goes into her purse. She grabs this like $20 bill, bro, and gives it to me, and I snatch it from her hand. And I call my homie up, like, yo, come downstairs to my house, or come, you know, and let's just get the week started. And he goes, cool, I'll be there in 15, whatever. So he hollers at me like 15 minutes after and says, bro, I'm just half a block down the road. I don't want to come in front of your house because I don't want your mom to see me, because she knew what we were always getting up to. And even though, like, she knew, I think he just didn't like to see my mom's face of, like, sadness. Because we grew up together,
man. It's
a
disappointed look, man.
She knew my mom. He knew my mom from back in the day, you know? And so I'm running downstairs, and my mom's in front of the door like this. She's holding the door saying, Nasir, Naro Lutfan Naro, which means, don't go, please don't go. and I'm just charging at
It's
her,
too
man.
late.
I'm just charging at her to go past. And I just grab her and push up against the closet and hits the closet door. I'm walking towards my friend's car, and the thing is, like, there was a sound behind me, and it was my mom, but it wasn't her crying. It wasn't her yelling. It wasn't her screaming. But it was a sound of, like, despair. It was like a whimper. It was like,
The sound of losing a child.
basically, and just the sound was like, like that, like a really soft cry.
But it strikes here.
Well, fuck, man, woke me up like that, bro. Because I've heard her bawl her eyes out, bro, for many, many years. But that sound was the sound of the last person to give up on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was too much of a coward to look behind me and see my mom's face. So I just kept walking to my friend's car. But, I mean, at that point, I kind of, like, remember looking at my arms. They're just black and blue. And then I just started thinking to myself, man, like, I've got nothing for me, bro. I've lost myself.
Mm.
I've lost everything. I've lost my girl. I've lost my mind. I've lost my family. I've lost my mom now.
And that one friend, though.
My last friend. And I had nothing else going for me, bro. And at that point, I was like, and I literally had lost everything, bro, at this point. Nothing was going well for me. I go to my friend's car and I say, bro, I think I got a problem. And he goes, yeah, man, you definitely do. It's been a long time. And I was like, what do I do? He goes, well, you tell me. I was like, I think I need help. And sure enough, we went to rehab, signed myself in.
How long were you in there for?
2 months. And
2 months?
Yeah, I've been sober since. I'm not sure if the camera can see this, but every year that I'm sober, I put a line on my hand. I'm on my 7th line.
7 lines.
Yeah, it's funny because the 7th line didn't go in too well, so it looks like I've just had a little bit too much fun on my 6th year.
Yeah.
Like
You're
I got
just
high
like half
once.
committed to it.
Yeah, I got high once. I got drunk a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I gotta fix it up, but totally sober, man. Not even a cigarette, dog. No beers, nothing, bro. Like,
Man, that's something to be so proud of too.
I'm blessed, bro. But the thing is, the reason why I'm blessed is because I've got this craft, man. Like, I've got purpose. And it was in rehab that I decided, shit, man, I'm gonna live life for myself. And I started tackling into a lot of different situations and issues in my mind, and realized my insecurities and not feeling worthy or like I had purpose or like on the same stature of my family. And I was just a disappointment. And that's why I let the drugs. And I was like, I'm gonna start doing something for myself, but like a positive thing for myself, as opposed to being selfish and just getting high. I'm gonna start cutting hair, man. That's what I'm gonna do. This is what I want to do. And sure enough, man, I came out with like a vengeance and gave my mom her son back, bro. For like, I was
Gave
there
my
for,
mom her son back.
yeah, bro.
That's real.
Bro, the first thing she said to me, G, and this is profound, Dre. I come home from rehab. I come to the front door. She opens up the door and she looks at me and her eyes start to water and she looks, but like penetrating my eyes, bro.
She's looking at your soul, bro.
And I'm like, Mom, what's up? Like, I thought she was checking to see if I was still high or something. And I'm like, Mom, what's up? She goes, Nasir, this is the first time in 6 years I see someone behind those eyes. And I'm like, whoa, bro. Like,
That really was your last friend.
and it was crazy, bro. Like, I was taken back. And like I said, gave my mom her son back, we'd have sleepovers, bro. Man, it was cool. Like, I was 23 years old, kicking it with my mom, my best friend. And, my older brother, he's always been like a very, very, very strong and big supporter for me too. He like held my mom up, but my mom was the one who was just there always. My brother they were all around the world doing things, for the community and doing whatever they had to do to get their, careers and everything started. But my brother, at the same time, although he was there for me, like, he could only do so much for me. Like, he literally bent over backwards for those 6 years, doing everything he could. And it got to a point where there was nothing that I was benefiting from him being around, that it started to actually affect his life.
So he distanced himself.
He's just like, Nas, like, there's nothing I can do. No, and my mom tried doing that too, but...
She's your mom.
Yeah. And so, obviously when I came out of rehab and I was with my mom, he kind of was just like, man, like, let's start together, bro, in Australia. Because he was doing his master's at Melbourne Uni.
True.
And he kept telling me how much, I would love it and I should start my career in cutting and everything. And I was like, Yeah, word. So after a few months of being with my mom, I came down with a one-way ticket to start my career.
And how old were you in that? 24?
23,
23, 24.
23, almost 24. It's
True.
crazy, bro. Like, think about it. Like, I make the move when I'm destined to do something before something happens. I just know I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I moved to Australia to become a barber. Now I've moved to Geelong to get into the prisons. How funny is that? I'm just starting to realize that now. It's like, I don't move after it's done. Like, I think it as if it's already happened.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I was going to say that before. Back when you were talking about how in your first 6 months you nearly found that prison. Like, I was going to nearly ask the question, like, and I think you answered it then yourself, but I want to deep it a bit more. That, like, thoughts become things.
Yeah, big time, bro. But then again, dude, like, I think that's so true, but I get anxiety, bro. And, like, my thoughts, like,
Fucking fucked. I know that, like,
yeah,
bro, I know that.
and so I think it's quite like we got to be careful about thinking thoughts become things. Like, positive thinking, it can allow us to have these energies and these vibrations and this motivation that we may not have in the past. But when you start thinking negatively about certain things, they're not always going to come true. It could just be your mind trying to sabotage you. And the one thing that it's going to do is make your life harder. So it may not, like, that anxiety may not become a reality. Like, I'm going to break my knee, bro, if I do this. I'm going to break my knee if I do this. But what that fear is going to do is not allow you to do it.
Yeah.
Or
It'll
it's not
hold you
going to allow you
backwards.
to experience whatever you want to experience because of the fear. And that could be the negative impact of it. But I mean, like, for me, it's like, I'm just going to put my head down. I'm going to do this project and I'm going to make sure it comes to life. And sure enough, I think the willpower and the sincerity, bro, like, all praise to the Most High, dude. Like, I'm telling you, the sincerity and God has really helped me find this avenue and this purpose and this mission. Not mission so much, but like this program to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result of it going forth, like, I would like to say,
He's so embarrassed now as well. You couldn't have done that at a better moment.
nah, it's true though.
Yeah.
No, it's good because, whatever. Next,
Yeah.
call cab.
No.
He's fine, bro.
No.
But the thing is, like, yeah, the sincerity, G, like, if you're sincere about something, it's going to come through. Otherwise, man, there's so many haters in this world that are just ready to sniff you out, dog. Like, it's so funny. People
Ready
get
to sniff
off.
you out and ready
People
to
get
pounce.
off, bro, on, like, calling you out and doing stuff, right? Like, one of my favorite things, bro, like, I love getting roasted, bro. I'm sorry.
True.
Like, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Like, at the shop that we're at, bro, like, we just roast each other all day, every day. Everyone just makes fun of how big my teeth are, dude. Like,
True.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but the thing is, like, one time I was drinking an espresso. This is so funny. Even clients, dog, like I was drinking my espresso and it's like, how are you drinking that? I'm like, wow, man, it's pretty good. I just drink it back. He's like, no, how do you get it past your teeth?
Oh, that's coming from a client.
And I was like, blood clot, man. Who do you think you are, man? And so it was funny. And like,
You're like,
boom.
you getting your hair cut next?
Yeah,
I'm like, you're in for a surprise today.
Well, I was in the middle of cutting his hair, bro. Like, that's the thing. And like, like Boom and Sarah, bro. Like, they just like get off on like tag teaming, like, insults against my teeth, and like, it's so funny, bro. That sounded really weird. They just get off on tag teaming.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I mean, the same time, it's like we make fun of each other all the time. But getting roasted is so funny, bro. Like, with people that don't know you. So there was this documentary. So after a few months of doing the Streets Barber thing, this group's just like, hey, can we do a documentary on you? I was like, yeah, no problem, no problem. And this is before like I allowed a lot of cameras to come through. Like back in the day, I was like, yeah, cool.
Wait,
but
was this recently?
no, it's like 6 years ago.
True.
Oh, I've had a few documentaries over the way, man. Like,
Interesting.
I think the most famous one, the one that got me like a little bit of love throughout the world, was the Pilgrim documentary. But the most famous one was a 60-second documentary. That's like,
What, 60 seconds in like the news team?
I think so.
It's
Must
like
be.
60 seconds. Is that on
You're,
like
you're
Channel
talking
9
about
and shit?
60 minutes, G.
Oh.
60 minutes.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't
60 second. It has like, it's like this. It's like suited for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Dog, like the first that had like 70+ million views, bro.
True.
Yeah, it was stupid, bro. Like Marlon Wayans, bro, posted it on his ish, bro. The Game posted my documentary, and he like wrote like, "Help the homeless," and then it puts my ass up. Like I was like the Game, dog. I'm talking
True.
about
Yeah.
G Unit, bro. Like, it was nuts. Waka Flocka, my idol, bro, put it on his blog. Like, bro, everyone. Like, a Tyga ripped it, man. It was just crazy, bro. Like, I got 2.5 million views on World Star, like, in the first 24 hours. It was stupid. But anyways, Pilgrim then hooked it up. And that was cool because, like, I think that allowed people to kind of recognize what I was doing, which was, hold up, let me rephrase that. It was cool because it allowed me to share my story of struggles and the work that I was doing and how I was able to overcome what I did. And it allowed a lot of other people to continue forth with wanting to give more haircuts and stuff to the homeless as well. So it wasn't just me in Melbourne, but it was people.
You opened the door to everyone
And
else.
there was, no, I didn't open the door. Hell no. There were people doing it before me too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be many people doing it after me. I'm just one of the many barbers. And I just got the attention for a certain reason. But I think it has to do with sincerity, bro. Because I was genuine about wanting to actually give it back instead of just like having those cheesy ass Facebook videos where people are just rocking up and like, you know, where it's like, this is what happens when man gives a homeless guy $500, and it's like this dude, he's
Yeah, they're
wearing
doing it
like
all for bait.
he's wearing his
Yeah.
media production company T-shirt, you know what I mean? And he's like walking around, he's driving in a Lamborghini. It's like the cheesy ass background music, and he's like and mic'd up, "Hey man, do you want this $500?" And the homeless guy's like, "Yeah, man." I'm just like, bro, that's so corny. But at the same time, I don't want to get into it. But I didn't want to be like that. I never want to be like that. I never will be like that. Mark my damn words, bro. But I'm just saying, like, the camera crews and all those people in the news stations and all these guys who wanted to do stories on me in the streets, it started getting to a point where I'm like, yo, man, now y'all just exploiting these homeless people.
Yeah, they don't understand.
It's not about them, man. It's just about you getting your 7 p.m. story and then like bouncing. So like I've been so cautious about like who comes with me on the streets now. Like, and if the news just wants to follow me or if people just want to take photos and hang out,
It doesn't work.
I'm like, thanks, but I mean, no thanks. Like, if we can do stuff on the side where I can, you know, if you want to know about the stories and like what I'm all about, we can talk one on one, you and I don't mind. But just having a homeless person that I want to bond with, bro,
Bro.
I can't do that when a camera's in your face and they have no idea what's going on. They're just gonna feel like an object, even more so.
But
And
that's that disconnect.
it's just gonna do stuff for my ego and my self esteem and my brand and all that. And I'm trying not to allow anything or enable anything to stimulate it in the negative, right? So what I mean stimulate in the negative, I mean like allow these reporters to kind of boost my name
Yeah.
and just neglect these homeless people and make them just like, oh, so he helps this homeless person. But it's like, nah, G, like I don't need the 7 p.m. story. People have gotten some love. There's a few documentaries out over the years. It's been shared. People know what I do. I don't need to just keep going on news station after news station after news station. And yeah, man, like I'll share the stories when it's sincere and it's raw. And I got one media production company that I work with and I've been working with since day one. Anybody that's been on the team since day one is still there.
Yeah.
We don't
Which
go
is
through.
important.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, like,
But then, like, it's because they know too. And I was going to say, you couldn't have, like, media following you around, engaging with homeless people. Because the biggest disconnect is homeless people don't like being filmed.
tell me
Because
about
they're
it, bro.
already painted in the most horrible way.
Absolutely,
Why would they
bro.
want somebody capturing that and, like, furthering that?
Yeah,
And not
bro.
only that, like, ruining any future potential. Like, say, if 2 years down the track, that man or whoever it may be manages to spin their life around, but they're remembered from being in
Yeah,
Nas's
bro.
video as that homeless man.
Yeah, bro. And
Like-
that's so true. That's so true. And that's why the only time that people really follow me now, unless there's like a certain reason, like I'm not saying that there's never a camera, but unless it's like a different story or something's cool where people need to know about, then I'll think about it. So long as it's not exploiting or making anyone feel uncomfortable or it's really like just corny and cheesy. If it's legit and if it's going to benefit not me, but them as well, you know, then I will definitely consider it. But the only people that I really go out with now are my media production company. So
Yeah.
like they're Round 3 Creative. They're based out of Melbourne, man.
Yeah.
They've been with me since
I
whatever.
met them at your opening. I had a good chat
word,
with him,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Vidad was dope,
Yeah.
man. He's one of the dudes, one of the 5, man. Like you can check it out. Like the Streets Barber got a YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. We've got like 14 episodes, and you know, it's just 2-minute basically clips, 3-minute clips of me just giving haircuts and talking to people. My favorites, if anyone ever wants to see it, is like episode 3, Ganesh, and his bro, and then Ketone, the South Sudanese youth is episode 4, and I think there's like another one. I forgot his name. Courtney, I think is his name. He's the guy with autism and like Asperger's, I believe, and
True.
like he's just it's just sad, man. Like, and
It's
when I say
real life,
fave,
though.
yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
just
When I
real
say,
life.
yeah, bro, for real, and they come out with me because they know the ins and outs. They build a relationship, and the homeless people have seen them around for the past few years. So it's
Yeah,
not
they're
like
familiar.
it's just, yeah. So like and I know they're raw and they're about the message. They're not about their own benefit. So that's why if anyone comes out with me, it's them. But I mean, like for the most part, like I've been silent on my Instagram, man. Like on the actual shop. I mean, on my not actual shop, on my actual page, the Streets Barber page, just because like I've been putting so much attention on building the shop and like trying to see if how we can bring the shop into a service aspect and like really trying to help out with the community as much as possible. And I've been so lucky, man. Like 3 months that we've been open. I was actually just doing the calculations recently. Even though I thought we were about 4 months in, we're actually 3 months in because we were open late May. And like having Boom on board, he's just been a blessing, bro. And Sarah on board, like the three of us have really been able to like kind of just mesh well and like really do our best to kind of help out.
It's a
And
perfect team dynamic. You don't stand on each other's toes. Each of you know your role. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And like we got Juice Man who's just been helping out. Like he just comes out with like the thing he's saying like, yo man, I just want to change my life. I'm just tired of doing what I was doing with no structure, etc., etc. And I'm like, bro, you serious? He goes, yeah. I'm like, we'll walk 1 foot towards me and I'll walk 10 feet towards you, bro. Like, we'll get you in. We'll use our coffee and our milk, train you up. This kid is so motivated, bro. Like, he's like this, bro. He's picked up making coffees, like, and he's damn good at it too, dude.
True.
Like, yeah, this kid's never had a job in his life. He's never made coffees either. And like, this is not an easy thing to do. Knowing espressos and like the weight into making the shot and then how long it has to pour for, the consistency, the colors, like. I don't want to do it half-assed. So that's why Sarah, she's the GOAT when it comes to coffee. And then Boom, too, man. Like, he never thought he was confident. He never feel confident enough or good enough to go around and actually work in a shop because he just kind of taught himself. I'm the same, bro. I taught myself. But, like, he's picked up and, like, what is it? Like, it's been about 2 months he's been there, and he's literally gone from, like, a solid like
you said
4, and now he's at a what, like a 7? I said,
Yeah,
and I'm like at an 8. I want to say I'm at an 8. Yeah, 7 from 4 to 7, bro. And this kid's been working in a shop for like a month, bro. Like I'm feeling very, very impressed. Like his lineups are on point. You know what I mean?
Bro,
That's something
like,
I need to learn from.
Everybody keeps commenting on it. I'm like,
Yeah,
something must
word.
be happening.
But then again, like the amount he's improved in took me years, and for him to pick it up in like a week. From what I talked to him last week to this week, I'm like, man, like, imagine what he's gonna be like in a few years. He's gonna be like stupid, bro. You know what I mean? Like stupid. Where I'm gonna be like, yo, Vince, can I get a job? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
reckon. It's like, do you remember who I am, Vince?
Straight up. But that's the thing, man. Like I told him straight up, like I don't want anything from you. I just want to invest my time into you, bro, so you can elevate and help others. And like that's all I wanted, bro. I've had people come and ask me for work, and they were just like, they're trained, they're really good at what they do, et cetera, but I mean, they didn't have the heart. And then, yeah, boom, he had the heart, bro, and like I'm so grateful.
No, I'm proud of that man too, because he sat here probably nearly 6 months ago now, and he was episode 1, and he spoke about how he wanted to move into the shop, and we've been talking and building about like where that could potentially happen, like where he wanted to do that, and it just so conveniently. It's just funny how the universe works like that.
Word, bro.
And it put you two together, and the things that have just come out of that.
True.
It's added to it's put a little gas behind Geelong.
I hope so, man.
It really has. From my perspective, anyway, I think it definitely has.
Bro, I it's a good vibe. Man, to be honest, there's been times where like the past few weeks it's getting a little bit like overwhelming, like because
man, Boo's been saying that, and you had to call team meetings and shit to like figure this out.
Bro, because like it became like got to a point where it started like it's dope, man. Like people coming through, but it became like almost like a youth drop-in center, not a barbershop.
True.
Right? And that's what it is first. It's a barbershop first, and then like a hangout spot next. But it almost was the other way around, and we're like, man, like we can't just be focusing on like certain people but then neglecting everyone. You know what I mean? So we're trying to figure out how it can be friendly and open for all walks of life. And like, man, this is my first time doing something like this. This is Boom's first time. This is Sarah's first time. Like we're all like just trying to understand and grow as a unit, bro. Like
figuring it out as you go.
Word, bro. And that's what it is. So like, and I've never been able to like dictate and be like a boss, bro. It's not, because it's just, my mom always would tell me, she's like, you're gonna be the worst boss, Nas. I'm like, because like your heart's too big. And I'm like,
true.
what? That's like a backhanded insult. It's like, what? I'll show you, mom. I can be an ass.
Yeah.
I can be mean, you know. And it's just true because like you having to tell people simple things like, yo, not behind the counter, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's where the laptop is for the music.
Yeah.
But like I felt guilty saying that. But it's a fact, bro. Like people
It's
should
like,
be
don't-
going up where the money is and where the coffee is. It's a small space.
Well, no, that's where all the bookings and stuff. Like, if that breaks down everything.
But it messes with me. I don't like. It's hard for me to say, but I have to learn, bro. At the same time, boundaries. Like I'm respecting everyone. Everyone's welcome to the house, but I'm gonna speak to you like I would speak to my family,
Yeah.
and that's what I gotta start doing. I shouldn't start like being scared of how I'm gonna talk to you. So, I mean, I'm learning a lot, bro, and it's good. Like our goals and our hopes with the shop is to like. The shop is sacred, bro.
Yeah.
It's a sacred space for people to grow and elevate and to really exceed their potentials, whether it be barbering or coffee making. But, you know, we want to try to create it as a training hub for a lot of people who
Yeah.
really want to either learn how to make coffees or learn how to cut hair.
Or just move forward in life.
More or less, yeah, absolutely. Like I think that's something we're trying to get. So like Sarah, she used to work HR, and so we got a couple of the boys who just needed help with their resumes to come down and properly do the resumes. So you know, we've had a couple of boys rock up, like Choppa, I love that kid.
Yeah,
Antoine,
Lamar.
everyone calls him Anthony, but like Antoine's his name, bro. Like he's dope. I like that kid a lot. Like he's always just smiling, just super good. He came down and he's been motivated. Told me he's gonna show up at 2. I didn't think anything of it. He rocked up at 1:30. I was like, that's my dog, right?
True.
It's so funny, yeah. So he did 2 days where he just solidly worked on his, his resume, and it's so funny because that kid's a joker, bro. Like,
Yeah, he's.
I'm like, yo, Choppa, I'm proud of you, bro. And he goes, thanks, man. I'm proud of you too. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? Like, why are you saying that? He just walks out, and I just thought it was so funny. He's a joker, man. And then like, it's just cool, like. Juice coming through, like he's made killer coffees. He's doing his resume too. Like, you know, we're using my car, and one of my friends, my housemate Sandy, she's teaching him how to drive. Like, you know, it's cool. Like the barbershop's becoming a hub for people to just kind of excel.
Man, you know what's so weird? And someone was asking me about it the other day. I actually think it was Juice. But he was saying how, and I never really acknowledged it until episode 10 when I got my old boss on. But role modeling. Like, what you haven't realised, and I haven't really realised till now, was you finally created, like, a safe space for men. And that's not just, like, discriminating because everybody's welcome. But it's, like, it's the first place where, like, anyone can come, be who they are, be around positive role models, and learn from them.
Word,
and grow
bro.
from them.
Word, bro.
And then just have these individuals not tell people what to do, but just offer 2 cents when people need it. And that's been like one of the hardest things. Well, like, not a hard thing, but every time I've gone there, like when you engage in conversation, like, fuck, this person really wants like all of my attention, like all of my engagement.
Yeah, bro. We want the best from you, bro. And that's the thing about the shop, bro. It's not about giving a service. It's about being of service. That's our shop's motto. And what does service really mean? It's just in my opinion, service just basically means making sure that you are benefiting whoever you come in contact with. That is being of service. So at the shop, man, when you're saying it's a positive space for men, I love that because.
But it is. Think about all the things you got hanging. No gossiping.
Yeah, true. Well, just everything else and like the way we try to talk about it, like we just don't want to be one of those like gross ass barbershops where like, yo, man, you see this girl, man, last night, I fucking, yeah. It's just like, you're corny, bro. You're married with 3 kids. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like
not down with that. You know, I'm not down with that. I got a girl that I love with with all my heart, Zarina. She's my queen, bro. I would never want to disrespect her by engaging in conversations like that with other men. Like, it's stupid, bro. I got too much respect for her to bring her name down.
And it just further creates a problem we have in society. So it's
Word
like,
up, bro.
if there's one place where we don't need it, it's like in the
Yeah,
barbershop.
And a lot of the dudes who just kind of like cultivate and like encourage that kind of behavior is because they're feeling pressured. Because if they don't, then they're gonna be looked at as like gay or some shit like that. Like,
Wait,
just
you're
like
talking
what?
about insecure boys.
Yeah, straight up, bro. And so they're like, yeah, that girl's hot. You know, like spitting out, trying to be all manly and stuff. But I mean, like, for when you're saying like a safe space for men, though, it's cool that you say that because I feel like there's such an impact and such a desire to like really help women out, you know, and kids. And it's true, bro. Like we need to. But I think we need to focus and work on our men first because if we fix our men, it's gonna save a lot of issues for women and our kids. You know, like let's just say a majority of the issues that happen in homes, bro, comes from
The man.
the man, bro. And then that's what causes the kids to grow up and be all messed up. That's what causes the moms to, get abused and have, like we want to help out women who are getting abused. Let's work on the men, bro. Because we can help these women, but these men will still be abusing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me?
I do. And then, bro, there's love the world we live in sometimes, but where we put our attention, there's so, and, there's times, I feel like just males are sometimes neglected, and it's such a hard thing to try and say, but when I say neglected, how in the court proceedings for family law, there's no one that helps the dad. For learning on how to become a man, if you don't have a man around, where do you go to learn these things? And because those systems aren't in play, we have men that grow up lost and just further add to all the bullshit that you're talking about. They're the ones that will go on, that'll have children, fuck off on their children, force a kid to be raised without a dad just like he was. There's so much of that.
Yeah, word, bro.
And there's no... I don't know, I just feel like society doesn't even talk about ways to get on top of those problems before that man grows up and has his own child, stuff like that.
Well, forget what society has to do, man. That's what the barbershop's for right now, at least in Geelong. So if you're in Geelong and you're a man and you need some help or you need someone to talk to, don't get a haircut. Just come get a coffee and say, Nas, how you doing? Boom, how you doing? And
Sarah, how you doing?
So no, but
Yeah,
that could come off a little bit. Yeah, but that could be coming off a little bit weird.
True,
You go into
true,
Sarah,
true,
the beautiful
true,
girl in the front.
true.
Sarah, how you doing?
True.
Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, say it to everyone, bro, for sure. But I'm saying you could just come talk to us. Sometimes it's easier for a man to open up to another man, right? That's why I was just suggesting me and Boom. But I mean, it's cool that just to come down, man. Just kick it, see what's up. Booking for a little beard trim or whatever, and you can order a haircut, and just have a chat, bro. That's all it is. We're here to kind of be of service to you, not just to make you look good, but to feel good too, right? And think good.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm saying, a shop's sacred. And I think that my mom would tell me, Nas, always focus on the solution, not so much the problem. And that's when I started doing the prison thing. I didn't want to focus so much on the problem of the homeless, but the solution of how I can help them not become homeless,
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing at the barbershop. Rather than focusing on helping women out and kids, let's focus on the solution. What's the solution? Maybe that's just try to help the men. These hurt men. These guys are just hurt kids.
That's all it is, man.
Straight up, bro. I think everyone's worthy of redemption and salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Save the ones who've gone through a lot of mental illness and have severe mental illness that it's irreversible or they need professional help. But besides those people, man, I think everyone is capable of changing. And I myself am living fact.
Right, that's you and me
proof.
both.
Yeah, word. You
That's
and I both. Straight up, bro. So,
but this is why we know how important it is, which is just a sad thing. Because think about how much easier sometimes our lives would have been if there were fucking people like us to go to instead of the people that we had to go to, which just made our problems so much worse.
People or substances. Do you get me? So for me, I felt like I had great people to go through, but I turned to bullshit.
True.
You may not have had the best people to go to because I had so many different things to surround me with, right? So
True.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tough one, bro.
I guess it's a combination of both.
Sure, absolutely. Actually, no. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? The people that I turned to weren't the ones that were going to benefit me. So yeah, you're right. All right, cool. I get you. No, because I did have great people around me, but I pushed them away and I went to the people that were sabotaging me. You get me?
I do.
So yeah, I get you. Before I go, can I say something?
Say something.
I feel like I found the purpose of life, and I want everyone to kind of listen up, But I feel that we've each got to fulfill our roles in life, and that's that's what our destiny is. Our destiny is to find out what our role is. And what I mean by that is figure out what you're good at. Okay? Figure out what your skill is. Figure out what your talents are. Whatever it is, you're good at something. It can be any damn thing. Whether you got it at birth, whether you've been able to acquire it through knowledge, whether it's something you've learned over the years, you're good at something. You definitely are. And if you're good at it, use that to benefit others.
Mm-hmm.
And once you use that certain thing to benefit others, it'll give you a purpose in life, and it'll make you wake up with motivation, fulfillment, drive. It'll make you feel good.
That's true.
And the most important thing with that is that it's going to give your life purpose. And if it gives your life purpose, that's basically the purpose of life. If you think about it, just
It's a
reverse
step
it, bro.
forward in the right direction.
That's all it is. And so for me, barbering was the thing that I'm talking about, being good at it. And so I'm using that to basically benefit others.
Mm-hmm.
You, man, you're good at interviewing, and you're basically good at showcasing, various people.
I'll be trying.
Bro, you're good at it, man. I didn't say you have to be the best at it.
Yeah.
You're good at it, and you're using that to benefit. It's not like you're racking the dough and doing this for the wrong reasons. You're doing this for the right reasons. And I think that's why it's working out so well. If you know how to cook a mean meal, bro, like feed whoever you need to feed and make their stomachs full.
Mm.
My brother loves basketball, so he teaches a lot of these refugees, man, like these Sudanese refugee boys out in Collingwood back when he was living in Australia, how to play ball. Now these kids are becoming future NBA prospects.
Bro.
I have an optometrist as a client who followed me to a shelter, and he, gave free eye exams and glasses to a whole bunch of people that needed it and
Didn't
couldn't
have
afford it.
opportunity.
Yeah, because he used his skill. If you think about it, man, like on a basketball team, like a center and a point guard, they're fulfilling their roles.
Mm-hmm. And they need it, like they can't survive without each other.
Exactly. So let's just fulfill our roles, man. Figure out what you're good at, bro.
It's teamwork.
Yeah, straight up, and that's what it is, bro. So like you're allowing me to come into your space, and basically be in your circle and fulfill whatever role you've got, whatever role I've got, and then together we can like try to hopefully inspire others, and then they can see what they're going to be good at. Like, okay, what can I do to benefit others as well? And it's just a positive cycle, and that's what's given me purpose, and that's what's kept me sober. That's what's allowed me to continue with this motivation in life, and hasn't made me give up. Just by realizing I have to fulfill my role, bro. I have to fulfill my destiny. I've recognized what I'm good at, and this is what I gotta do. Stop trying so hard to complicate things, man. Just figure out what you're good at. Once you realize what you're good at, use that to benefit others. Simple as that, bro.
And just be good at it.
Yeah, you don't have to be the best, bro.
Yeah. But as long as you're happy with your level of how much work you've put into it.
If you feel that whatever you're doing, whether you're good, whether you're amazing, or whether you're just average at it, if you feel like you're good enough where it's benefiting someone else, I think that's what's going to define whether you're good at it or not.
Yeah, it's $1 million trick.
That skill, if it's going to be of benefit to someone else. So if I can cut hair, but it's real shit, then it's not going to be a benefit. But if I can cut hair and I can get by and it's like an average haircut, but people really enjoying my company, that's good enough, bro.
Yeah.
Don't have to put so much stress on it.
You're winning.
Absolutely, bro. You get me?
Bro. Well, I guess what's next for Nas?
Drugs? No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, these 7 years, I'm just like, on this hand, I've got the heavy years. Nah, fuck.
What's next for Nas? I mean, just let the barbershop grow, the brand grow, get the team going, elevate themselves, helping others realize what they're good at, using that to benefit others too, man. This prison program is the focus of my next 6 months outside of work. So work is just purely, I guess, although it's purely commercial, we're doing it and we're looking at it in a social profit, in a social enterprise kind of way.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure out how we can really benefit others in the community, and seeing how this community of Geelong is going to become, I think, better and grow more so from the shop. That's like the next thing I want to focus on the shop with.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen outside the shop with the service aspect is purely just how I can help out the prisons, man. So I think what's next for Nas is just constantly elevating and growing and benefiting in every single aspect of my life, whether it be commercial or service. But like I said, this commercial thing, man, like this shop, like really, really want to just try to push, bro, and make people feel motivated enough to like see their full potential, and like I said, continue making it a safe space for men.
Which is so important, and I wish you nothing but the best on that journey too. Which is like,
Thanks, bro.
You-
Appreciate it.
We need more of it. And I hope that that's what this space becomes.
Hopefully.
Even though like it'll just be temporary because whatever happens next will happen next. But I just know that at least there's a safe space within your shop for men
Word,
to
man.
like-minded to get together and hopefully build. And which is what happens. Every time I walk into your shop, I walk out with another new contact. I'm like, fuck, now I need to get
That's
this
so
person to come and
true,
do
hey.
some stuff or like
That's
just in
so
some
true,
way.
bro.
Every time.
Yeah, straight up, man.
And sometimes it annoys me because I'm like, boom, I got an hour. Like, is this going to be an hour thing? And he's like, yeah. I'll leave 3 hours later. I'm like, boom.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
like, I'm not upset, but I am upset.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
It's benefited, right? It's of
ah,
service. That's
yeah.
all it is, man. I want the shop to be of service to others. But then at the same time, man, you're not doing yourself a service, bro. You can't put it on boom.
yeah.
You
no,
could be
that's all
like,
me. I
dog,
could've got
listen,
up
here's
and
my
left.
card. I'm bouncing.
Yeah. No, but I
Yeah.
say that as I'm wrapped in a cloak and I'm just like, half my shit's done.
That's
I'm
so
like,
funny,
boom,
yeah.
Damn.
Actually, last time we were there was when with the Afghan and Persian refugee boys. Bro,
Yeah.
those kids were hard, bro.
Bro, and you know,
They were
like,
hard, bro.
I know those boys. What was so funny about that? Oh, I can't really go. Like, long story short, I know those boys.
Yeah.
And when they all came in, like Muhammad, the homie that doesn't really speak English, when he walked in and he said, "What's up?" to me in English, I'm like, "What? You speak in English now?" And he just gave me the cheekiest smile, and I was like, "You
Yeah,
little
that's
bastard,
so
but you're
funny.
a good kid."
Yeah.
All like, and those are boys that just needed a chance.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like, maybe not just a chance. Maybe they need 100 chances because they're still young.
Nah, like,
That's the thing, bro.
I've
These
had
kids,
conversations with those boys, man. Like, for them, when they left their countries and came here, was in the time, like, when the Middle East had the triangle of death and shit. Like, so much was happening over
bro.
there. Like,
Taliban. Straight up Taliban, dog.
and imagine fleeing from that and seeing that and then coming here, but you've already been scared. So it's like, what do you do?
You know, I asked the kids once, one of the kids, he's like the leader of the crew. And he's like, it's cool to go in and out of prison for them. Like, they think it's
Yeah.
like hard. I'm like, yo, is it hard for you guys to be refugees, like Afghan refugees in this country? And the kid goes, it used to be hard for us, but we've made it easy for ourselves now. And I'm just like, damn, bro.
That's
like,
game over.
That's just a hard ass response, bro. And like, man, like the kid's hair I was cutting, he had a big ass shank, bro. Like,
Yeah. Man, like,
8 inches of just like chilling, like in his. I'm like, can I see it? He goes, I can't bring it out right now. Like,
yeah.
I was like, and they're all like talking about it. I was like, man, that's like, what are you doing with the 16? Like, they don't have like a little knife though, just to like scare. They have like a dagger to hurt, bro.
Bro. Like, there's,
It's just scary, man. Like, just to think that's real life, bro. Like, that's the thing.
you know what's funny though? Which is sort of back to my point, I guess. Scary or scared? Because everything that they've run away from, they're permanently scared.
I guess they were scared. Now it's like they've had so much fear in their life where they feel like they're fearless now because they've seen the worst. I feel, so I'm not sure if they're scared anymore. They were scared. Now they're aiming to scare.
No, but that's insecurity. Why do I need to bring an 8-inch blade?
Well, I mean, because maybe it's because he did get stabbed from rib to rib and cut open, like a year before that. That's 15-year-old by a rival group of people. So it could be that. Yeah, it could be scared. You're right. But I mean, no 15-year-old needs to get sliced open like that, dog. Like, what's up with that?
No, like, trust me, kids and knives, that's a whole other, like, that's a whole can we don't want to, like, I don't even want to open that up because there's so much.
So
that
much
really
about
goes
it, eh?
into Well, because you know how, oh, fuck, just quick 30 seconds, how he's scared. So the person that stabbed him, why did he have a knife? Could it not be to say that he was scared? And so when you've got two scared individuals both carrying weapons and someone pulls it, you have to act first. Otherwise, you're that one. Like, otherwise it gets, like, it's fucked up.
I see your point. Like, they wouldn't be in that situation if there was confidence, love, and happiness, and they felt like, all right, and they didn't need to. I told these kids that, actually. I was like, listen, man, like, what are you guys trying to do? You know, life is hard. Why are you guys trying to make it harder for yourselves? Why are you always trying to look over your back? Why are you always trying to prove a point and create enemies? Do the opposite, man.
Man, it's not fun. It's it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when they say, like, I'm 16, if I go to jail, who cares? When I'm 18, it's going to be, like, wiped off, you know? Like, they're switched on. They know what's up, but it's, I don't know, man. I think when you're trying to prove a point and try to already make yourself known, then there's, it's kind of dangerous, man, because, yeah, it touches on insecurities. And a lot of yeah, I don't know. We can go into it, I guess, with the kids situation. I guess that's like what's next. I think the prisons and then the shop, creating a safe space. But then, like, I think what's next is once the shop's established and once the prison program's going, maybe just kind of creating a training space for a lot of youth that are at risk specifically, and to potentially not either getting to the chance of being homeless or going into prison. You get me? So
Yeah, the rehab. Yeah.
so going like super like solution vibes.
Yeah.
So first it was the streets, then it's the prison. Now it's going and like getting them at a young age before any of that happens.
But then that comes back to why sometimes men need to be helped first, so they don't further that problem in families with women. Why would we not put the focus on the children, the future?
Yeah, word. Imagine if these kids that like we're training at the shop end up helping out these men who need the help at a shop, bro. Like that's like a huge alternate universe. Like instead of the men helping the kids are actually helping the men, bro. Like that'd be boss.
Bro, that's
I also really want to tap into the indigenous root, man. Like
true.
I love any indigenous folk from any part of the world. Like I got like
man, they're
so
the
much
OGs.
love.
They're the proper
Straight
OGs.
up, but especially in this country, the purity and the beauty of the indigenous and Aboriginal people, like I love. Like when Manny was talking about the Aboriginal, like
just
thing
how
in the
fucked it is.
yeah, and like that whole thing in the podcast, I was just like, damn, man, like straight up, like it's hard being Sudanese, but imagine being an Aboriginal too, bro.
Man.
Like,
Still, that's the problem. It's not like there was once in every time period in history where it was a great time. It's like it's fucked from the beginning and it's fucked now. So it's like,
what's the percentage, dog? Like, I mean,
Bro.
100% of the Aboriginals that were alive, or like that were around a couple hundred years ago, there's 3% now.
yeah, man, they got rid of 97. Like
3%, bro. Like what, dog? Like,
bro, that's the definition of evil. But anyway, aside from that, since we're on the youth topic, you probably answered it before, but I'm curious to see what you have to say. Like, Nas, what's one thing that you wish you were told as a youth?
when I was a youth, I used to pun Cali. It's a reggae song. So. What's the one thing I was told as a youth, bro?
That you wish you were told.
That I wish I was told. Bro, I feel like I've been told everything. I just didn't want to hear it. That's the weird thing, bro. I was told everything. I had best advice. Sucks, that I didn't follow through with it. Damn, bro. I wish I could have heard the seek to understand rather than be understood when I was earlier. Because I only realized that more recently, and that's really changed my life, man. Like, it's really taken out a new way. But for so long, I kept wanting to prove myself and to let other people understand, and then, like, let people understand the struggles I went with, the insecurities I felt with the drug use and all that stuff like that. Like, it was always me, victim. But if I really took that in and, like, understood it as a youth, the understand part, and seek to understand as opposed to try to be understood, it would have maybe really changed my perspective and understanding for the future, bro. Because every other thing that I was told 1,000 billion things, bro. But like I said, when I was a kid, I just didn't want to hear it, or I didn't think of it, or I didn't think I was worthy or needed to hear it.
You just weren't ready, which is nothing wrong with as well.
Absolutely. And now that's the thing. When I'm like talking to people in the future, I mean, like kids now, it's like I tell them stuff that I was just being told, and like I can just see it just literally boom, over their heads.
Which doesn't matter though, like,
yeah,
because you know what it's like. We get told the same thing forever, from when we're growing up till now, but then one day you just listen, and it changes your life. So maybe we just need people saying shit all the time, so that when we eventually hear it, we're like, "Fuck yeah, I'll finally do that."
Well, that's the thing. The seek to understand as opposed to be understood. I think that was the first time that I actually was able to understand, and I didn't want the person to understand. Because for me, I was talking to this dude, Matt, and I was like, "Yo, Matt, like I want blah blah this and that. Like I feel like, this person's not understanding me. My. And then he's just like, man, Nas, like, have you taken a step back to understand them? Why you always want to get understood?" And like that was my first time that I actually listened. I didn't play victim. And I was like, whoa, damn, dude. And that's the thing. I think my whole struggles in life came from being the victim. Like, life is so hard. I'm insecure. I need to do drugs. I don't want to be a barber. I want to be like you. You guys don't think I'm worthy. Blah, 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 blah. It was me, as opposed to like, hold up, let me see. My family's actually wanting me to cut hair because they see such beauty in me. My family doesn't want me to, do drugs because it's just not good for my health. Like, so many different things. If I put that concept into my head, as opposed to me always trying to prove my point, which goes back to being scared too, bro, and that insecurity levels. Like, if I was confident and I felt like I didn't need to let everybody understand what I'm coming from and what I'm doing by words or by my actions, I think I wouldn't have felt so scared or insecure or not confident in my ways. But if I just did it and I was confident, I didn't need to prove or to show people would have seen eventually. I think that would have helped out a lot in life.
It's the truth.
So there you go, kids. Seek to understand as opposed to be understood. Because if you're confident, man, you'll be understood.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Nas, couldn't thank you so much. Couldn't thank you anymore for coming down.
Couldn't thank you so much sounds better, I reckon.
Yeah, couldn't thank you so much.
Bless
I was
up.
like, as I was saying that, I was like, don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Here I am still saying it.
Bless up.
And I'm so good that I've said it twice and I
Bless
still don't
up.
understand where I'm going.
Bless up, bro.
But
Appreciate
I'd say plug yourself, but most people know who you are, but tell them where to go to find you if they want to find you and see all the shit you do.
Just type in the Streets Barber, man, on Google, and you can find everything from that. But just go into the shop, streetsbarbershop.com, I think, and you can just make an appointment, check it out. Go to Instagram, too, for that as well. But other than that, man, I think everyone needs to be checking out this page and listen to all the other people that, have come before me. I think that's important. I think that's the most important plug right now. So
We be trying, bro. We be trying.
straight.
Is there anything else you want to share with the world?
Nah, man, all praise to the Most High. It's always going to be in the forefront of my mind.
My brother.
Cool.
Well, thank you for that.
Bless
That's
up.
the end of Different Kind of Genius this week. Big ups to Nas. Big ups to the whole Streets Barber team in the back. They're all in the back.
Word up, bro.
But that's all it is. Stay
Hey,
safe. Peace
Sasa.
out. One love. Liam, you know what to do. And Nas, I'll look after your hand.
Thanks, homie. Appreciate it.
you, bro.
Peace, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.